Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to the Artificial Intelligence for Insurance Agencies YouTube channel. Today, we're talking about insurance proposals. Look, this is a very important part of the business. In fact, it's a piece of the business that gets missed a lot of time, and that is having the right insurance proposal. Now, can you have the perfect insurance proposal? Probably not. To me, it's a living, breathing document that's always changing. In fact, we've built our own through PandaDoc. We've built our own through Quiller and all these different things and plug these different things together to give ourselves the right proposal instead of using a true system through HubSpot. Today, though, we want to talk about what should go into an insurance proposal. Look, I've built this trust and growth framework that you can use if you want. It's available in the GPTs. And we're going to go through and we're going to build the insurance proposal. And first of all, I want to talk about we're going to, for example, look at personalized insurance first. We're looking at the different sections, of course, the introduction, what they're getting in here. And you can see some examples here, how I've kind of built this in about how you're going to get different examples with this GPT, this trust and growth framework, the hook, why this thing matters and all this different stuff, all your solutions and all these parts. And look, a lot of this is built off of StoryBrand. A lot of it's built off They Ask You Answer, that I'm a certified coach for both, and understanding these proposals and understanding what needs to go into each one of these. On the price, there should definitely be a table, but here, as we design all these, and maybe having a section where they can jump right to the price. And using the AI to kind of build this right proposal, the layout, where it needs to be on the proposal, and all that different stuff. And if you want to see an example of an insurance proposal, I will put one in the a template kind of in the description that you can kind of see as we get done building this. And sometimes I'll go back and forth with this thing for 20, 30 minutes as we build these proposals. Then I'm going to take this framework and I'm going to apply it to maybe a PandaDoc, maybe a Quiller, maybe a better proposal, whatever it is you're using. In fact, you could do it in Adobe and build it yourself. But this gives you the framework of how each section needs to be laid out. What we discover is a lot of times in insurance proposals, we will send a proposal to a customer, but we don't tell them the next steps. We don't tell them exactly what to do to take the next step. And that's where a lot of times we fail with these proposals. When you're going back and forth with AI like this, that's one of the things you should ask it for. Build it where the customer knows exactly what steps to take next. If we're creating that clarity for them, we're creating a plan. And that's what we miss a lot with insurance proposals. We'll send out these great proposals. They have all this great design. But then we spend the entire proposal talking about ourselves, talking about our 100-year agency instead of specifically addressing the pain point for the customer. One way to do this is when you're building your forms, put on there what's the biggest problem you're having with insurance. That's something we did years ago that helped to really increase our conversions. But as we go through this and we build this, you can see the different things here. Remember, this was for personalized. It's going to be a little different for commercial. But the pain points and the problems are always going to be different. But we want to be documenting those in our CRM, when a customer fills out a form, because We want to confirm that we're addressing those pains and those problems in the proposal. That way the customer knows that we're listening. They know that they're in the right place. And you can see the different sections here. Prices were going to be real important. In fact, in some of these, like a Quiller or PandaDoc, you could build what's called an anchor text, which means when they click on price at the top, maybe it takes them straight down to the price section. If they checked on coverages, it could take them straight to the coverage section. Really building this thing like a landing page. And the reason is the sole goal of this insurance proposal is to convert people. So you don't want to be putting like your social media icons on an insurance proposal. You don't want to be putting things that distract people, that take them to other web pages. You want to make sure that you do embed a video through a video, or unless a video on YouTube explaining the proposal and things like that. That way you know when people are watching it. But as we go through and we look at the problem that we're solving or the hook that we're helping them with, you can see the messaging here of how we've built this messaging out to help you build this proposal using this framework. On the social proof, you could absolutely include different reviews you've gotten. If you can get video testimonials from a customer that put into an insurance proposal, it's going to be really good. And then, of course, your final one is the investment here. And the call to action, which is where we seem to really kind of screw up the entire sales process a lot of times, I myself included, is that we don't put the right action there. What we usually do is accept this proposal, decline this proposal, I've got more questions. That's 3 different options I can ask, and that's it. And then it takes me to a different landing page and all this different stuff. As you can see here, request a quote revision, schedule a call, or approve the plan. And how we can embed this in. Now let's just see what it would look like with this outline that's asking us. And now you see you've got this kind of framework built. Look, you can remove all the emojis. That's typically what I do. But now you can see here's the Quiller one. So what happens is when your team, whether you have a VA designer or you need some help designing these and whatever the system is, your team kind of has the framework here of how everything needs to be laid out before the design. This is building what we call the wireframe, using AI to build your wireframe for your insurance proposals. And look, you're always going to be adjusting these and testing these. If you're like us, you really listen to what customers say when they look at these proposals for us. It's, hey, I wish this was covered. I wish this wasn't covered. That tells me in the proposal, maybe one of the frequently asked questions we should have is what's covered, what's not covered. When they go and click on that button, the messaging is not clear on the next page. So we need to improve that messaging based on the feedback they're giving us. So you really want to be listening to your customers when you're building out these proposals, and you're using AI basically just to really build these templates to put them in here. So you see here, and look, these things are not going to be wrong. And now, we can go back and look at these now. And it's even going to tell you really what the video should cover. You could do a real quick video. How you could do it with Quiller, how you could do it with PandaDoc, how you could do it with Better Proposals, whatever system you decide to use. And whatever product you're offering us. So we're just going through personal lines here. We could do this with commercial lines. We like to use different templates based on the customer, based on the problem, because we're pulling that problem in and out using custom fields in HubSpot. And it makes the proposals really easy. We've built it for years on PandaDoc. We're probably moving things more either to Better Proposal or Quiller just because it looks cleaner. It's easier to make updates and things like that. PandaDoc really is more of an e-sign platform, like a DocuSign. And I feel like Quiller and Better Proposals are more of a true proposal software. You don't have to pay for both. But just whatever software you're going to use, you want to go through AI and you want to have a conversation like we have right here on this video as we walk through and we try to build this proposal. And if you want help trying to figure out what needs to go into the perfect proposal. How should I design a proposal? Should I put the carriers in there? Typically, I don't recommend putting all the brand stuff for the carriers into a proposal. Instead, I recommend branding your agency in there. I recommend speaking specifically to your customers' problems that you've discovered through this. These are all different things that AI can help you build the perfect insurance proposal. So I hope this video helps you when it comes to building your insurance proposals. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and our private community on artificial intelligence for insurance. I'll also be building a guide for you, step by step, on building the perfect insurance proposal.